Welcome to the Lab 4 demonstration. This lab contains multiple files, multiple web pages. I wrote this one using as many files as I discuss in the lab assignment. You could do it with just two, the main file and the inventory file or web page. But I used all of them that I discuss in the assignment as a way to show how you can move about the pages and also to keep each page focused on one item. So here we have our form. You'll notice that all of the fields equate directly, the form fields equate directly to the database fields. And so we have ISBN, book title, author first name, author last name, genre, copyright year, publisher, and price. Also notice we give the user some information as to what to enter. Enter the 13-digit ISBN without the dash, book's title of no more than 50 characters, author's first name no more than 50, and so on. And I chose 50 because our database fields only have up to 50 in those. Genre, book's copyright year, and then notice down at the bottom I say enter the book's price format in the format of xx.xx without a dollar sign, right? Now, so we're basically looking for currency here. Now, if you remember in the database, the field is set up as a 6-2, so up to 6 digits before the decimal place and then 2 after. So you can actually put more than just XX before the dot. But we put that here as a guide. Now, one of the things to remember here is that we have controls sitting behind the scenes. We have required field validator controls so that we can't write any empty nulls into the database. We also have regular expression validator controls because there are certain things that we want, such as 13-digit ISBN or no more than 50 characters, right? So we have these going on, and these are important because they stop the form from being submitted until these match the criteria that we want in the database. So this is important. Number one, it stops any possibility of dirty data, right? Corrupt data being written to the database, which makes it dirty data or perhaps can cause some other security issues with our database. And so that's really important, right? And so that does stop it. At number two, it also stops errors from showing up on our screen from the database because we're checking for these errors, and many times we just have it, to be honest, output to the screen. We don't catch every single error, every single possible error, so we want to stop that from output as well. All right. Now we do try to catch errors. There's a hint for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter some fictional books. Let me make some mistakes. So an ISBN, 13-digit ISBN. So maybe I don't pay attention, and I start let's say, type a book title, right? C# for fun, right? Well, it says, hey, enter a 13-digit ISBN without a dash. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. And it goes away. One thing I want to show you first is notice since I did enter something, we do have our required fields popping up, and if I were actually just to try to write a bunch of null to the database, these would all pop up and explain to the user, hey, you forgot to do something. So let me go back here. Alright, so I don't have 13 yet. Now I do, right? Take one away, so it's 12. So it is counting, right? It is counting. Alright, book title. Right. Make sure you account for spaces in the book name, right? Now genre, we can just keep this a required field. Notice there's a null here in the drop down. Right, you pick your own genres you want and add whatever you'd like, to be honest. Just make sure you have a few here. I have 6. That's fine. But notice there's a null field at the very top, and you need to make sure that's there, because otherwise it would automatically just pick the first one, which we don't want, because we want to make sure they make an active choice. So let me go ahead. Let's put that under computers. Goes away. Copyright year. Now, so if we put today, right, that's going to throw a regular expression error, enter a valid year. So if I put 2011, that goes away. Now if I put 3011, there's an issue, right? Still enter a valid year, right? So you need to account for that. Let me put that back. Publisher, once again, watch for the spaces there, and price. What if I type in expensive? Right. Enter the price in xx.xx. So let's say I'm going to make this worth right, $42.42. Still, we get an error, right? We forgot the decimal place. There we go. Now if we look, all of our information, there are no required field errors popping up. There are no regular expression errors popping up. So we're ready to enter this book now. So let's go ahead and enter it. We're submitting it. It's being written to the database. And there we go. Book successfully added. We've given ourselves a message. We've actually output in the table. Notice the table looks the same. That's an external CSS doing the formatting. We get back what we've written. Okay, so this book's now in the database. Our choice now is to go to the inventory control page. So let me go there. And notice that little bit of unformatted page in between. And that's going to happen depending on speed of the connection, speed of the database, how many people are hitting it, whatever, right? Because we're performing a query at that point. So don't worry about it. As long as your page eventually formats, it will only be, a fraction of a second. So here I have another message, and it's good to tell the users what they're seeing, right? Books sorted by author last name, and sure enough it is. Here are our books, right? And here's the new one that we just wrote, okay, into the database, right? So we have a nice table. We have all the books in our inventory, and as we keep adding them, these books will become, this list will grow. It doesn't matter. It's dynamic. If there are 2, fine. If there's 3,000, fine. Now, one other thing I've done here with my navigation, because I have 6 pages here, is I have links to each of my pages, and I keep this consistent the whole way through. All right, so I'm on my inventory page, and in my inventory page I can go back and add a book. That takes me to the main page again. I can see the book inventory. I'm there again. I guess if I want to refresh, I could. I can go to select by genre. That takes me to my genre page, where I can select which genre I want and get a display of those books I have in inventory.